Please start, Harshit.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshuromilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Garuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanostute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye
Pancha.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Why don't you switch on your videos when you're telling prayers? Even otherwise, keep your videos switch on. What's the problem? Okay.
Mataji, it's getting off. That's why. If I on, yes.
Okay. So, we are in chapter 3. The name of this chapter is Karma Yoga, right? Means karma means action. So this chapter totally talks about how we should do action, any action. Because in the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna has again raised a problem, saying that by doing action, we are getting karma. Why we should do any action? We will not do any action. Not doing any action and then sitting idle and then doing meditation, and then because we have not done any action, we will not get any sin, and then we'll go back to Goloka. This was Arjuna's doubt. But then Krishna has clarified it, saying that it is impossible for anybody, any living being, to be not to do any karma, because the soul because of which we are active like this is always active. It can never be idle. Even when we are sleeping also, the soul is active. It is only the material body that is inactive. So when the soul is active, we will be active. So anyway that we have to do an action, we have to do it with Krishna consciousness. So that was his answer. So in the beginning section of this chapter, Krishna has explained that we have to do action with because we are born here on this body, on this material world, and every living being has a prescribed duty. So we have to work as per our prescribed duty, and we have no option. And then last week we discussed about the cycle of sacrifices. That means what Krishna has told you was that when we were born, when this creation was made, Krishna just did not make it. He has taken care of this creation in all aspects. In all aspects means like he has taken care that he has created the demigods who are a higher version of human beings, and in Telugu we call them as devatas. He has created the devatas and the human beings. So, and what is the responsibility of devatas? The responsibility of devatas is to give all the facilities to the human beings. And we are in this world enjoying so many facilities. We are able to live on this world just because of all the facilities given by Krishna, which we never realized that we have got so many facilities like the air, the water, the sun, everything. All these are the facilities without which we just cannot survive. So till now he has told about Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then he has told about, and then okay, when it comes to Devatas, he said, so Devatas are responsible for making sure that we get all the facilities properly. And in turn, what is the responsibility of human beings or divine beings? Whatever they earn, whatever they get, they have to offer it back to Krishna or the demigods, and then use it. That's how they have to show their gratitude. Only then the devatas will be satisfied, and only when the devatas are satisfied, they will keep giving the facilities in a systematic way, the way they have to be given. But these days, what is it we are doing? We are not realizing all the blessings of God. So we think all the things that are available to us are our right. So naturally we are getting it. That's all. Who is giving you air? Yeah, it comes. It is there. So it is there. So it comes and we enjoy it. Sun, it comes. We don't realize that this is the blessing of somebody which we are enjoying. So because we have lost that realization, what we are doing is we are not offering it back to the God, nor we are thanking anybody for giving all those things and for enjoying all those things. Only when they are not there, we understand. Only the day when it is very hot, we understand that we are suffering due to God. And the day when there are no rains, we understand the usefulness of rain. Similarly, when there are too much of rains, we understand why so much of rain, it should stop now. But this systematic supply of these supplies is not happening because we are not offering back to them whatever we are getting. So Krishna in the last few slokas, that is from 11 to 16, has explained the cycle of sacrifice. The cycle of sacrifice is Krishna gives, Krishna gives us water from the clouds. The water is taken by the seeds, and the seeds become plants. The plants in turn again give us seeds, and the seeds have to be offered back to Lord Krishna. Only when the seed means the product, whatever is given, have to be offered back to the Krishna or to the demigods, saying that thank you very much for giving this. And then again, and in the form of a sacrifice, in the form of an yajna. That is yajna cycle. When we offer it back in the form of yajna, what happens is from the yajna, again the clouds develop. And so from the clouds, the water comes. So that way, the cycle of sacrifice is complete. Because now no cycle of sacrifice is being done, all this confusion is happening in the world. This is what we have discussed last week. So, and also Krishna has explained that it is always better to do your prescribed duties. And from now Krishna will, from this cycle, now he will say, it is not just enough of doing your activities or your duties. You will have to do your duties in a prescribed duties in a way that will be appreciated by everybody, not just do something for the material pleasure. So how we will today discuss about that. So now Krishna will tell us how to act dutifully with examples of his example and karma yogis like Janaka Maharaj. So he will give examples of them and tell how we have to live our life by doing our duties and then be in a detached way. Okay. Now I have to 1 minute. So we have discussed till 3.16 previously. Now we have to do 3.17. So Vishnupriya.
Yes, Mataji. Yes. यस्त्वामरतिरेव एव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवा आत्मनि एव च सन्तुष्टस्तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. Translation. But for one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty.
Thank you. So here what is Krishna telling? For one who takes pleasure in himself, that means we are all enjoying. Actually, we'll discuss what chapter 3.17 and 3.18 together. So somebody can read 3.18 also. Who will read 3.18?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah. Then read, please. Read 3.18.
Yes, Mataji. नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो न कृतेनेह कश्चन नाचस्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदार्थव्यपाश्रयः. Translation. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and accept activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation.
Yeah, here he is explaining about Krishna consciousness and how a person should be. It's how a self-realized man will be. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duties. Till now, we have been discussing that as per our character, we are given some prescribed duties which we have to do. Only a man who does his prescribed duties is one who is going closer to the God. And in fact, Krishna has been telling Arjuna till now that you have to, this is Kshatriya, you are a Kshatriya, you have to do your prescribed duty. Otherwise, you will set a wrong example to others. So he says, being a Kshatriya, you cannot run away from the war field. This is what he has been telling, that doing prescribed duties is compulsory. But now that he has told, and then initially he said that, then he also said in the beginning that you are doing it for the pleasure of, because you have to do it. That is how he told in the beginning. Then later, what did he say? He said, you have to do that. That was step one. Later, he has told that you have to do your prescribed duties, but not for you. You have to do it for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. You cannot do it for yourself, not for your satisfaction. Because if we start doing it for our satisfaction, the material satisfaction is a never-ending one. It can never, ever, any material desire will be fulfilled. Just think of it. Anything you have, anything, you might have everything in the world, then we will start aiming at something which is outside the world. So a person can never be satisfied. Who can be satisfied? Only a self-satisfied person will be always happy. That means he doesn't have any material desire. That means he eats because he has to maintain the body. He wears his clothes, to tell you frankly, not even for his protection. He wears clothes because he lives in a society where it is customary to wear clothes and for the benefit of others and not for himself. So he just doesn't care what he is doing. He doesn't care what he is wearing. He doesn't care where he is staying. That means these material benefits will never ever make him happy or sad. You give him a big 1 kg of gold, he says, okay, take it. You give him a small a fruit to eat, he says, okay, happy, I'll have it. In fact, giving him a fruit is more beneficial to him because a fruit at least he can eat. And so, if you give him like 1 kg of gold, there is nothing he can do. In fact, I think we read a story about this. Once, a small story, I think I told you this story. Once there is a man in a village to whom to that village one sannyasi will come. So when the sannyasi comes, this man goes and asks, Swamiji, give me the best thing whatever you have. Out of all the things you are having, you give me the you give me the best. So what he does is he just puts his hand into the bag, and then one big diamond comes. So when the big diamond comes, he says, you take it and go. So this man will become very happy. And then, but the sannyasi has no feelings at all that I am giving off a big diamond. So when he gives, so the man takes it home. But after going home in the night, when he is relaxing, then he gets a doubt. Arey, this man has given the best thing. When I asked him for the excellent thing, what will make me happy? He gave me a diamond. That means he must be having something better with him. Otherwise, why will he give me this? He will not give me this. So he must be having something more worthier than this. This is how we material people always think. That means when somebody gives something, we go to the shop, that man says this item is 100 rupees. So we ask, okay, give it for 50 rupees. So that man says, okay, take it for his own reason or for some desperate sale he wants to make, or maybe it is costly. He will say, okay, take it. Then immediately we get it out. We asked for 50 rupees, he gave it off immediately. That means, did I ask for less? More? I should have asked for 30 rupees. This way, we are never satisfied. So this man also starts thinking, when I asked for something very valuable, he has given me this. So what is that man has got? So that man must be having something more worthier than this. So again, next day he goes back. And he says, Swamiji, no, you please take back your diamond. I don't want you to have a diamond. I know for sure you have got something more worthier than this. Please give me that. Then the sannyasi laughs and says, this is all material. This doesn't make any difference. The more worthier things what I have, also I can give you. And that is something, if I give also, nothing, I will not lose anything. And that is nothing but Harinama Sankirtana. So he teaches him Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He teaches him Harinama Sankirtana and he lives. So that way, it is a self-satisfied person. He is always very happy within himself. That means he is happy with whatever he has. He just doesn't look for anything. In the 17th Sloka, he uses a word called Atmarati. Atmarati means to take pleasure in himself. That means nothing external will give him pleasure. The happiness comes from himself. Similarly, he takes one more word like Atma Trupti. Atma Trupti means Santrupti. That means Trupti is satisfaction. That means he does not require any external pleasures to become happy. And Krishna also uses a word called Atma Santrushta. Atma Eva Santrushta. That means a fully satisfied. Means previously we said he's happy. Now he says he's fully satisfied within himself. Which means that no material desire can make him happy or sorrow. Such a person, Krishna says, such a person need not do any prescribed duties. He need not do. Okay, that is what Krishna has told. And so in Sloka 18, he says, a self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duties, because it just doesn't make any difference for him, because he has no taste for all this material happiness, and save and accept activities in Krishna consciousness. Accept, that means his only duty is to spend time in Krishna consciousness. Krishna conscious is not inactive either. We think that a sannyasi means he just doesn't do anything, just sits there and sit like this. But that is not what is Krishna consciousness, and will be explained in the later versions by Krishna. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person. He does not require any person around him to give him anything. Or demigod. Normally, what we do, we take the shelter of our parents or friends or some people around us, or we take the shelter of God. So, if we are Krishna consciousness, that means if we develop our belief on Krishna, only shelter we look for is from Krishna, not from anybody else. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in discharge of his obligations. Till now, what are we discussing? We are saying that by doing our prescribed duties, we are fulfilling our obligations. So here Krishna says that being in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in discharge of your obligations. This is what Krishna has told. Okay. So,
Mataji, I have a doubt, Mataji.
yeah, who is that? Aditi.
Mataji, I'm Aditi.
Yeah.
Mataji, can you tell me the meaning of obligation, Mataji?
Obligation. Obligation means compulsion to do. What is your obligation towards your parents is you have to study and make them happy. Your parents' obligation to you is, it is responsibility. You know responsibility, no? You know responsibility.
Mataji.
Yeah, responsibility and obligation are similar words only. When
Okay,
somebody,
Mataji.
that is one thing, not even responsibility. When somebody does, suppose you do a favor to me, okay? You do a favor to me, and in turn you ask, okay, tomorrow some help is required to you, and then you come and ask me, Mataji, will you do it to me? Will you do this help to me? So what happens is, whether I like to do the help or not, I feel obligated. That day, without asking, Atiti has done this help to me. So now it is my obligation to help her. That is obligation. That means feeling, what do you call this? Feeling yeah, it is responsibility. Badhyata. We feel badhyata, responsible. She has done this to me, so let me also do something, because she has asked this. Let me also do it. Suppose there is no connection between you and me. When there is no connection, if you ask me something, it is my wish. If I feel like doing, I'll do. Otherwise, I'll not do. If you have already done some favor to me, I feel I should do it because she has done this for me. Okay?
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Right. 3.19. Who will read? Yeah, you have, if you want to read, yeah, anybody? 3.19. Arshit? You have already read. Arshit? Siddhi? Are you there or not?
Yes, Mataji. Shall I read?
Yeah, read.
Mataji, I'll read the translation, Mataji.
Who? Atidya?
Yes, Mataji, I don't know how to read the sloka,
Okay.
Mataji.
Harshit will read the sloka, you read the translation. Next week, you just practice some slokas, and so that I'll give you that sloka to read. Okay? In the next 10 slokas, you in the house, you just take one sloka, whichever you feel easy, and then just practice that. And then you tell me,
Okay,
Mataji, I have practiced this. For today, you read the translation. Okay, Harshit? No problem, no? You read
Okay,
the sloka, she will read the translation.
Fine, Mataji. Tasmat asakta Yuktaha Satatam Karyam Karma Samachara Asakto hi Acharan Karma Param Apnoti Purushaha.
Okay. Karmam.
Translation.
Yeah.
Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the supreme.
Yes. So therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, fruits means benefits. So when we do something because we have to do it, like parents it does all the service to the children because they love the children, and then it is their responsibility to do it. They don't expect that because I'm doing it today I have done so much of cooking, I want my children to come and wash the utensils. They don't expect unless they are sick or something, some problem is there, they don't expect. Or your father won't think, I went to office, worked so hard and came, I want my son to hold my legs and then massage my legs. He won't think, he will do it without any expecting any fruits of the activities. One should act as a matter of duty. We should, whatever we do, we should do it as a matter of our duty. For by working without attachment, one attains supreme. Attain supreme means one will get Krishna, one will go closer to Krishna. So, so by only we might think that I am doing it everything in the right sense, but that is not what it should be. We should do everything rightly, but we should do it without expecting any results. Only then we will go attain supreme means we will get liberation and go back to Krishna Loka. We'll go back to Krishna. So some people would like to be very good. Some people would like to be, they don't think about it, but they just say like that, or they prefer to be bad because of their own reasons. But that is our choice. But do things in a detached way only will take us to Krishna, will only give us liberation. That means you might be, however good you may be, like you might spend all your earnings with living with, suppose you are earning 1 lakh rupees per month, you might just keep 10,000 rupees for you and spend all the money, all the 90,000 in helping somebody. That is your choice. Nobody has asked you to do. But if you do it in Krishna consciousness, that means if you do it thinking, see, Krishna has given me such a knowledge, which because of which I am earning this 1 lakh rupees. So it is the blessing of Krishna. I am earning this money. So let me spend this money for Krishna. So if he spends that money, he might give it to some hungry people, but he should make that food as a prasadam and then give it. And then he should not take pride out of serving them. He should only think, Krishna, thank you very much for giving me this benefit. He can spend 10,000 rupees, buy some books, and then give it to people who are interested in reading books, and because of which they will also get into Krishna consciousness. That way, whatever we do, we should do keeping in mind that we are grateful to Krishna for giving up such a facility or such a capability with which we are able to serve Krishna. That's how we should do. So attachment, one attains supreme personality. Supreme. 20. Who will read 20? Siri, are you there? Siri has joined here and studying for her 10th class exam. Okay. Pushkar, is your sister there? Okay, Vishnupriya, read.
Yes, Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim अस्तिथ जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहम् एवापि सम्पास्यम् कर्तुमर्हसि. Translation. Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work.
Yes. King such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your duty. So, this is a very important thing. Like I think all of you know is Janaka Maharaja. Janaka Maharaj is Sita Mata's father. Rama's wife is Sita. Sita is none other than Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi's father is Janaka Maharaj. He is a king. He is a very great king. But he lived the life of a karma yogi. See, so because he is detached, because he is born as a Kshatriya and he has the responsibility to rule the kingdom, he ruled the kingdom. Because a king should have certain attire and a king should live such a certain type of life. He led the life of a king. But like in the morning when he used to go out to the sabha, he used to get himself dressed as a king and then go and sit in the kingdom like a king, like wearing all jewelry and all. But once he comes back to his palace, and there he used to live like a very poor man, very normal man. Like he was not wearing all the jewelry, nor he was sleeping on those rich beds. He was living like a very normal man because he was detached with all these material pleasures. Janaka Maharaja is known as Rajarshi. That means being a king, he lived the life of a rishi. So here Krishna has taken the example of Janaka Maharaj. So people like Janaka Maharaj, they are so self-satisfied man that they need not do anything. They can just sit and relax and then spend their time in Krishna consciousness, they'll go back. But they don't do like that. Why they don't do like that is just for the sake of educating the people in general. Like suppose this man, Janaka Maharaja, being a king, does not do his duty and just sits idle. What will happen? Everybody in the kingdom also will think, oh, king is not doing anything. Why should I do? When so-and-so is not doing anything, why should I do? So that kind of attitude will come. So for that, he says, just like Janaka Maharaja, who has attained the perfection, even of self-satisfaction, he did all his duty to set an example for others, for the common man. Actually, Arjuna is also a great devotee, and he is also a self-satisfied man. He also need not do this war because he is 100% devotee of Krishna, and he within himself he is always chanting Krishna's name. Like once, I'll tell you one more small incident. Once while the war was going itself, somebody gets a doubt. Somebody gets a doubt and asks Krishna, why are you showing partiality like this? Then Krishna asks, what partiality did I show? He says, there are so many devotees you have, but whatever it is, you like Arjuna more. So you always do favors to Arjuna only. Then Arjuna says, because he is my devotee. Then they say, no, we are also all your devotees. Why do you say that only Arjuna is your devotee? Then Krishna says, come, I'll tell you why Arjuna is my devotee. So when they go in the night, Arjuna will be sleeping. Then he tells the other man, now you go and put your ear on the Arjuna's heart and hear what you'll hear. So when that man goes and puts his ear on Arjuna's heart, normally what do we get? We get lub dub sound. But there, that man's from the body, it will be coming Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So even in the sleep, Arjuna will be thinking about Krishna only. So then that other man understands. He says, see, this is the kind of devotee Arjuna is. So That is because he is such kind of a devotee. I have become a charioteer to him and sitting at his legs and serving him. And as we have discussed many times, Krishna doesn't bless anybody to become his devotee. We have to struggle and then earn Krishna's goodness and then become a devotee. Because if we become a real devotee of Krishna, till then we serve Krishna. But the moment we become a real devotee of Krishna, Krishna will come and serve us because he always wants his devotee to be happy. So that way, always it's very difficult to become a devotee because any other blessing you ask, you say, I want a big house. If you have that punyam, he will give. If you say, I want to come first in the university, if you put in hard effort and have faith in Krishna, he will bless you. Anything you ask, Krishna will give you. But if you say, I want to become a devotee and spend a useless life, Krishna won't bless you. You have to earn that goodness. So that way, here, Arjuna is also a great devotee. Arjuna is also a self-satisfied man. Actually, Arjuna need not do fight in the war. But Krishna has insisted that being a Kshatriya, you have to do your duty. Why? Because Arjuna being a Kshatriya, if he leaves the war field and go, then what will happen? All the Kshatriyas who are timid or doesn't want to fight or who is afraid of his death, whatever may be the reason, for some reason, not the reason of Arjuna, they will happily say, Arjuna has not done the fighting, nobody said anything, why we should do? We will also not do. So people will take a bad example, not the actual example, not the actual meaning why Arjuna has left the war field. So he insists that Arjuna has to fight. So to set a good example to others, even a self-satisfied man has to fight. 3.21. Jitesh, will you read?
Yes, Mataji, can I read, Mataji?
Yeah, this Jitesh will read. Next you can read.
Okay, Mataji.
यद्यदाश्चरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तदेविनदो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. Translation: whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world.
Exemplary acts. Exemplary acts. Great acts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acts, all the world
Pursues.
pursues.
Means
Hare
does.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is what I have just now explained to you. Whatever action a great man does, performs, common man follows. Like we go for movies, we see heroes doing great deeds. We also tend to do. The way now that one movie has come, where that man gives a dialogue like this, doing this. What is that dialogue? I don't get it. So everybody does it. But see, let us not take the example of this great Krishna, Arjuna and all. Let us at least take the example of our movie heroes. So the movie hero comes onto the screen and does lot of activities like this. Small things. That is their commercial part of it and they do it. We all try to follow them. But to become a hero of a movie, we don't know how much struggle they undergo. We all sleep till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning because those people have to be in the shooting place by 8 o'clock. They have to leave their house at 7 o'clock. And because they have to keep themselves fit as a hero, we all expect him to be very fit. So he gets up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock and does his physical exercise. And we people, we eat whatever we want. Whatever interest we eat, because we are really not body consciousness. Brain consciousness in the sense, we don't always think that we are becoming fat or we are something, we don't feel, we just enjoy our food. They don't eat anything. And the kind of struggle they undergo is enormous. We don't look at the great things what they are doing. But what we do, some silly things what this guru do on the screen, or the way they fight, or the way they talk, or sometimes today the movies have become so bad, they only show answering backwards to the parents, calling parents by name and things, and calling old people as Musli, or the grandparents should be very nicely called as Amamma, Nainamma, Tataya, things like that. They don't call. They just call them as Musli, grandma, grandfellow. Some which just for the sake of their business they do. We take all those things and do, but we don't really see what great things they're doing behind. Similarly, whenever a action of a great, so why? Because we consider these people as some great achievers, we try to follow them. So we take them as a standard. So it is the responsibility of a leader who sets a standard to set a good example, because he has become a leader, the whole world follows him. That he should be very conscious. The moment if you are a man not known to anybody, we can coolly live our life. The moment we come into life, we have to be very cautious, because many eyes will be observing us, and what happens is they try to follow us. So we have to always set an example. Even in your house, some of you may be the elder child of your parents, either a girl or a boy. Your sister, younger sister or brother definitely follows you. So if you behave in a good manner, automatically they are obliged to behave in a good manner. But if you are not studying, they also won't study. And he is not studying, I am not studying. But if you are studying well, sometimes they may study, but at least one excuse is gone. If you are coming and sitting in front of this class here, the second one is also obliged to come. They can't take excuses. So the elder one or a man in limelight has to set a good example. Like in our childhood, they used to say, if you are the elder daughter of a family and if you set a good example, automatically the other daughter-in-laws will also be good, because you are setting a good example. That way, we all always have to set good examples. Yeah. Krishna Priya, you want to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Name
You read this, Aditi will read the meaning. Okay, Aditi?
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
मे पार्थासि कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानावाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एवाच कर्मणि.
Aditi, you can read the meaning.
O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me within all three
Planetary systems.
planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties.
Very good. O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems. So here Krishna, now he is declaring himself. Till now Krishna really has not declared himself who he is, who he is, nor so now he is telling, nor I want to do anything, nor like he is telling me within all. Okay, let me tell you. So here, when we in the previous sloka, we have discussed that Krishna, whatever a leader sets an example, the others have to follow. So Krishna actually, Arjuna being a soldier, he has to do. Even Krishna, we all know that Krishna is a god, but most of the people around him also knows that he is a god. But Krishna actually need not do any duty. But he is a self-satisfied man. But Krishna also has done all the duties like any other human being. Why he has done? He is very simple. Like Krishna, when he was a child, because he was brought up with Nanda Yashoda, and their duty is to take care of the cows. He used to go and take care of the cows. And then later when he came to Madura, he was a king, and he, like any other king, he did the duties of a king. And when he married, he in the house also, he used to behave like a very normal husband. He never tried to force like a god. Like so why he wants to set an example? If Krishna really wants to take care of the house, he can just relax in the house and then think that the cow should go gaze and then do everything and come back. Everything will be done. The cow should be washed and neat. If he just thinks in himself, the cows will be washed and neat. But he never did like that. He really physically with his hands he has done. Even while ruling the kingdom, he ruled like any other king. And while with his wives also, his wives used to quarrel with him like any other wife. He used to take care of his children and everything like any other. He used to go and plead his wife, saying that sorry, I did this mistake. Please, please take care of me, and like any other normal man. But we should not forget one thing, that being God also Krishna did. So we should, it is the responsibility of anybody to do our prescribed duties, but with detachment. Here, what is it telling? That there is no work prescribed for me, because Krishna is the creator of this universe. That means the owner of this. He has no duties in the three planetary systems. In this Swargam, Narakam, Patalokam, Devalokam, whatever you call, he has no work to do. He need not do anything, nor I am interested in doing, nor I need to do anything for getting any benefit. Yet I am engaged in my prescribed duties. So, because even though I am a god and I need not do anything, like in another sloka, he has very clearly told that all of you know this sloka, no? Sarvasya chaham hudi sannivishto mattak smutir jnanam apohanancha. You know this sloka, no? Where the meaning of the sloka is, he says that I live in the hearts of everybody. That means whatever everybody is doing is because of me. I am the spruti, knowledge, and the forgetfulness. I am everything. I am the owner of this is the main important line. I am the owner of the Vedas. That means, what does Vedas contain? Vedas tells us what are prescribed duties, how a prescribed duty should be done, who should do what kind of a prescribed duty. Because he is the originator, from him only all the Vedas are originated. He is the owner. He has written it. He is the only one who knows Vedas perfectly, in spite of which he is following all the prescribed duties in the Vedas. That means Krishna is only setting good examples, but unfortunately, very unfortunate thing here is we don't take the good in others. So when we do 100 things, good things, and do one bad thing, we should understand one thing, that people only take the bad thing. Or okay, it might be bad, it may not be good. For some reason, we might have done it, but the example is taken only for that. Because Krishna has, we all say that Krishna is a thief, like he has stolen butter from many houses. So a thief can say, I am also Krishna. Krishna has done theft. I am also doing. But when he is compared himself with Krishna stealing butter, Krishna has got his own reasons for doing it. But Krishna, has he done only the theft of butter in Vrindavan? What else has he done? He has lifted Govardhanagiri with one finger like this. Can the thief who is taking Krishna as an example, can he just lift a stone like this? Forget about stone. Suppose there is a glass of water like this. Krishna has lifted the stone like this. Sorry, the Vrindavan, mountain like this, Govardhanagiri like this for 7 days without any problem. If suppose this glass of water or empty glass is given to me and I am asked to hold this for 1 hour, just 1 hour, can I hold it? I can't hold it. Now it is very easy. What is there to hold this? I'll hold it. But half an hour, 1 hour, then the problem starts. I just cannot hold it. That's all. Any one of you try. It is so difficult. So when we take the example of somebody, we should not compare. That comparison is something very bad in life. So they have got their own reasoning. They had got their own. See, in Bhagavad Gita, when we learn this, this is the kind of things what we should learn. We should not take comparisons. For bad things, not here. So when we try to look at Krishna for doing something, we should ask, okay, Krishna, you are comparing yourself with Krishna for this thing. Can you do that what Krishna has done? You cannot do. From the age of 3 months, Krishna started killing all the demons. Even now, a small cockroach comes, we run away. So how can we compare with Krishna? So, and also people criticize Krishna for doing Rasa Leela with gopis. And also they criticize Krishna for marrying 8 wives and 16,008 wives. And then people who have second marriage and third marriage, the example they take is Krishna. The example they take is, Krishna has done, why I cannot marry when Krishna has married? He is our God. And when God sets an example, why I cannot follow? But before doing it, just think how Krishna has married, why Krishna has married. There are great reasons. That reasons also, let us not get into it. When we get into examples, Krishna has expanded into so many Krishnas. So once after Krishna's all the marriages, Narada got it out. Hey, Krishna has married so many people, so many ladies. Whenever I see some man marrying a second wife, he has so many problems. How is Krishna managing? Let me see. And then he went to the palaces of all these queens. So in every palace where Narada went, Krishna was there. That means this Narada went to 16,008 palaces, and in all the 16,008 palaces, Krishna was there. That means Krishna can expand himself. So there is no reason what is wrong in Krishna marrying, whereas we cannot manage with one wife also. So never take examples, bad examples of others, but take only good examples of others. Okay. Next. 3.23. Who will read? Who will read? 3.23. Ashit?
Yes, Mataji. यदि हम अहम न वर्तेयम जातु कर्माणि अन्तान्द्रितः मम वर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. Translation. For if I never failed to engage in carefully performing presided duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path.
If Krishna is saying, for if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, so Krishna is telling, O Partha, if I fail in doing my prescribed duties, that means when I was a child, if I have not taken care of the cows, when I was grown up, if I have not taken the kingdom, as a good husband, if I have not taken care of my wives, certainly men would follow my path. That means children would start rejecting, not responding to their parents. A king would not do his duty properly, and any person, they'll say, oh, Krishna has not done, why I should do? I will also not do. So here he is Krishna distinguishes between a karma kandi and a karma yogi. A karma kandi means doing, kanda means doing our duty as a duty is karma kanda. Karma yogi means doing our duty in a prescribed, in a for doing it. Next, who will read? Siri, what happened to you? You're not there? Okay. Who will read this? Yeah, Vishnupriya.
Yes, Mataji. Utsideyor ime loka nakuryam karma chet aham sankarasya cha kartasyam upahanyam aima praja. Translation. If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to renunciation. Ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings.
Yes. If I did not perform prescribed duties, the way we have talked till now, if Krishna has not done his duties properly, all this world would be put into ruination, means ruin. All of you know the word ruin, no? So this world would become ruin because Krishna is not doing things properly. I will also not do. So what will happen? All the discipline in the world will go off. When there is no discipline, what is discipline? Discipline means there are certain rules laid by us to follow. So those rules should be followed. That means children should study. They need not go for earning food. Like if after grown up, you have to marry. You have to only have relationship with your wife. And then you should have children and you should take care of your children and take care of your parents. You should take care of your siblings also, brothers and sisters also. These are certain. You should not harm the people around. You should take care of the society. These are all the rules laid in our society. Suppose if Krishna has not followed all this, nobody would have followed. If nobody would have followed, what will happen? There are no prescribed duties. All the world would put into ruin. That means that the family system totally will fail. If the family system fails, what will happen? There will be no marriage. Everybody will roam around with whomever they want. And they will have children. Then the children will not know who no marriages will be there. If there are no marriages, the children will not know who is their mother, who is their father. It would cause creating unwanted populations. So who is wanted population? A child with parents is a wanted population because the child is wanted by the parents. Like whoever, so you are all children, but whom do you want? Only your parents want you. Nobody else in the world want you. Maybe because you are looking very cute or you talk very nicely. One day you go to your neighbors, they will entertain you. One day you go to your uncle or auntie's house, they will entertain you. But beyond that, they will not entertain you. Abba, this fellow is coming and sitting in my house for such a long time. When will he go? That kind of a thought will come because you are unwanted to him. But for your parent, you are always wanted. So if one has no parents, it will all become unwanted population. Unwanted population means nobody will take care of them and would therefore destroy the peace of all living beings. So when there is a total unwanted population, no discipline, no earnings, when there are no proper earnings, what will happen? The theft will increase. And because of the desires, the murders, the theft, and all illegal things will happen. So that's how, if Krishna doesn't follow the rules, the total creation will not follow the rules. That is what he has told. 25. Who will read? Yeah, Shrapriya.
Yes, Mataji. Satta karmanya vidvamso yata kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvamsata shaktas chikirshur loka sangraham. Translation. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act but without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path.
As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results. Ignorant means those who have no knowledge of this Krishna consciousness or those who have no knowledge of the scriptures, they are all ignorant. Ignorance means not about, we are not here talking about the material ignorance. He might be a very great officer. He might be a great software engineer. He might be a great king. But if he is not knowledgeable about the real purpose of life, we consider him as an ignorant man. So how does he do his duties? He does his duties with attachment to the results. I have done this, I want this results. He doesn't think that I have done it because it is my duty, I am doing. Whatever may be the result, it's left to Krishna. He won't do that. The learned may similarly act, because if the ignorant do, a learned also might do, but learned will also do the same duty. A ignorant will do a job, the learned will also do the job as a prescribed duty, but ignorant will do with attachment, but a learned will do without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path. The same act he will do it to take the people in the right path, the way Krishna has done, the way Arjuna has done, the way Janaka Maharaj has done. They will do it in the direction to take it forward. 3.26. Yeah. Next, who will read? Harshit?
Yes, Mataji. Na buddhi bhedam janayed ajnanam karma sanginam josayet sarva karmani vivedyam yuktha samacharam. Translation. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant man attached to the fruitive results of presided duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for gradual development of Krishna consciousness.
Yes, 26. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties. So ignorant men, not to disturb their minds, because they will think, if I do this, I get this. If I do this, I'll get this, without disturbing that. A learned person should not indulge them to stop work. So here the knowledge person should not tell him that if you do this, you won't get anything, don't do it. He should not tell like that. Rather, by working in the spirit of, he should say that by working in that spirit of devotion, you should engage themselves in all sorts of activities for gradual development of Krishna consciousness. So here the intelligent man will do things to set an example to the innocent man. But the same thing, if there is arrogant man, so there is a difference between ignorance and arrogance. An arrogant man will think that I know everything, but an ignorant man will not say something like that. So here Krishna says, don't do all this and waste your time. But here the important thing is, even though Krishna says don't waste your time, normally we people in Krishna consciousness, what we do is, others may be ignorant or arrogant or whatever they are, we always try to tell them that this is good, this is bad, this is what. That is one good thing in Krishna consciousness. Here, rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in sorts of activities. So a devotee should tell them that, okay, whatever you're doing is good, but do it, you do it like that only, but keep God in your mind and do it. For gradual, so what will happen is, like we have discussed in the previous day, by performing our duties in the rightful way, initially we may not do it as a karma yoga. That means we may not do it for Krishna consciousness. But over a period of time, slowly we will evolve. We will understand what it is, and we will slowly get into Krishna consciousness. 2.37. Yeah. To 3.27. We'll stop with 2.39. So 2.7. Who will read? Read. Yeah, Vishnupriya. Today only these three are reading. Yeah, Vishnupriya, read.
Yes, Mataji. Prakrite kriya karmani gunay karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are actuality carried out by three modes of material nature.
Yeah. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer. So, of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. We know the three modes of material nature. What are the three modes of material nature?
Sattva-guna,
Sattva, Rajogunam and Tamogunam.
Tamoguna. So we do things in because of the whichever guna we have. Whether we are the sattva guna, we do it in a in a good passion, goodness passion. And if you are a rajoguna, we do it in a desirous mode. And if you are a tamoguna, in a lazy manner, we do it. Okay, we do it. So the spirit soul, bewildered by influence of false ego, thinks that he is doing it. He does not realize that we are doing it because of our guna. Okay, 1 minute. Wait. Okay. So here what does a man who is in a false ego think? That he thinks that he is doing it. Here all of us know very well that we are the only person, we are only a desire. So we have to be very careful about our desire. So whatever we desire, Krishna blesses us. Mean Paramatma, he is the sanctioner. How does he sanction? He sanctions based on our accumulated karma. So we should be very careful in desiring. So, and who is doing it? The Prakriti is doing. When I am taking this class, I should never think that I am taking this class. Because here, what is my duty, my responsibility is only to think that I want to take a class. So the desire should be in me so strong that Krishna has to bless me. That okay, you have the desire and you have enough of punyam to take this class, you do it. So when he sanctions, my body should cooperate with it. That means the Prakriti. What is my body? My body is nothing but Panchabhutalu. So my body should facilitate. Say, and unless there is a sanction of Krishna, this Wi-Fi may not work. Finish. Whatever I prepare, this Wi-Fi doesn't work, gone. Similarly, my mouth, suddenly my talk may go off. Anything can happen. So we should always be under the knowledge that it is we who is desiring, that we are always under the false ego. See, normally we say that ego is bad, but ego is not bad. Everybody should have ego, but we should not have false ego. If not false, what is that ego we should have? We should have the ego that ego is nothing but a desire, me, myself. What is that ego we should have? The ego we should have is that we are the servants of Krishna. We are part of Krishna. We are not independent. We are dependent on Krishna. This kind of a consciousness should always be there. That is the correct ego. And false ego is we. I am doing it. I am so. It is me. It is my greatness that I am conducting this class. Is the false ego for me. For you, you think, oh, I am so great. I am able to sit in the class and listen. See, my brother is not able to attend. That kind of a thing is a false ego. We have a desire, and only when Krishna blesses it, it happens. So here it says, the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself is the doer of activities that are actuality carried out by three modes of material nature. So this point is very important, saying that we should not think that we are the doer. We should always be under the knowledge that it is the sanction of Krishna. It is his blessings. Okay, 3.2. Harshit.
Yes, Mataji. Tatve tu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoha guna guneshu vartanta iti matva na sajate. Translation. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, Almighty Arm, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive results.
Yeah. Okay. One who is knowledgeable of the absolute truth. That means a person who is in the knowledge that Krishna, we are only the desirer and Krishna is a sanctioner. O mighty armed, O mighty, who is a mighty armed? Arjuna. Does not engage himself in the sense of sense gratification. That means he does not always think about his happiness. Sense gratification means senses. What are our senses? Our senses are our eyes, our tongue, our hands, that means our skin, our ears. All these are senses, 5 senses. We who are always in the sense gratification, knowing well the difference between work in devotion and work in fruitive results. Fruitive results means material results. Work in devotion, that means a person who is engaged himself in Almighty does not engage himself in senses and sense gratification. That means a person who is knowledgeable about working for devotion or working for Krishna and working for fruit for material desires always knows that himself sense and sense whether he is working for his senses or for his sense gratification, for his sense gratification or for Krishna. That means our senses says watch the TV. That movie is very interesting. But our knowledge, what we are getting here says, no, don't watch the movie, attend the class, read the Bhagavatam, learn the slokas. Is the knowledge what we are getting towards Krishna. And the material Maya will tell, no, why all this? Go watch the movie and think that. So a knowledgeable absolute truth. So who is in knowledge absolute truth will differentiate between these two. Otherwise, so the moment we are bonded by the sense gratification, by the influence of sense, what is it happens is we are bonded in this material world under this sense gratification. Yeah, 2.9. Yeah, is ready?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yeah.
Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
प्रकृतेर्गुणसम्मूढा सज्जन्ते गुणकर्मसु तान् अकृत्स्नविदो मोमादान् कृत्स्नाभिन्ना विचालयेत्.
Bewildered by the meaning?
Translation. Bewildered by the moods of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge.
Yeah. The same thing as told in the previous sloka 2.6. The same thing is he's again repeating. Here he says, bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and becomes attached. So by getting bonded by the material nature or the Maya, what happens? The ignorant people attach themselves to the material activities and become attached. That means we enjoy the house. So what we do? We always keep dusting the house, keeping it neat, always painting it, putting this article here, that article there, and then enjoying. But this is material enjoyment because we are getting attached to it. Whereas a Krishna conscious person, what he also keeps his house neat, but he does not try to decorate it or anything, just neat and clean the Krishna table, serve him food, and do some chanting or do some useful work and things like that. He does not waste his time. But the wise should not unsettle them. Here Krishna says that don't waste your time to change them. Although these duties are inferior due to performers' lack of knowledge, although they are doing certain things which is a low quality work, that means the people who are trying to spend their time in material enjoyment or material pleasures, even though they are inferior work, don't waste your time. He is advising a knowledgeable person not to waste his time in educating the arrogant people, because they will not change. How do we change? The only way to change them is you behave in a good way. That is what, it's not there said there. I am only telling that we have to only set an example, so that be seeing the example, they might change one day. If you ask them, no, don't do it, do you do devotion, you prepare prasadam, or you do chanting, they won't listen. But only thing what we can do is, when they're reading some book, we can just give a Bhagavad Gita and say, okay, read this book, and every day feed them with prasadam. Because eating, everyone knows that maybe by eating prasadam, one day we will become very devotional. So, here till now, Krishna has talked about attached worker and a detached worker. How we should do our prescribed duties in a detached way. So we'll stop here today, and we'll stop here today. This chapter has 43 slokas, so 30 to 43, next 13 chapters we will do next week. Mostly I'll tell you on Friday. Next week also we might have on Saturday only. Let me tell you on before by Friday I'll tell you. Okay?
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah. So any doubt you can ask me.
No, that Mataji.
I have to give attendance, no? I forgot to generate attendance. It's okay, no? I just make a note and I forgot to generate the attendance. I'll make a note and I do it. This is Vishnu, Krishna, Harshit, Sudhi, Pushkar. Who else? Who else? Atithi. Okay, I like it. Okay. Any doubts you have? Can I stop?